Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you'd please type the number 1 in that chat box, in that comment section, let me know that you can. I would greatly appreciate it. There is nothing worse than talking to myself for the next little bit. Loud and clear. Appreciate that, Lee. Afternoon, Jeff. Hey, Brenda, how you doing? Welcome, 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 everyone. Come on now, get excited. Let's make some noise. Come on. All right, appreciate it. Hey, John, afternoon. Good. PK, afternoon. Excellent. So as we get started here, good morning, Helen. As we get started here, keep in mind everything we look at is for educational purposes only. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. All right, we got a lot of stuff coming up. December 7th. I can't believe December. December 7th, which is, I don't even have a December calendar up yet. Wednesday. We've got Trading You. On the 8th, we have Patterns in a Flash. You got a couple others coming up the following weeks. Mastermind Group comes up this Tuesday night. Power Hour Trading Coaches Playbook on their regular schedule, as is Power Option Plays, Covered Call Explorer, and the E-Mini Think Tank. They're all on their regular schedule for this week. Right, here's our Follow Us page. If you're newer here, make sure you follow along with the various platforms that are out on there on. If you're older here, make sure you're following along with the various social platforms that we have out there. Guys, don't miss out on it. I recorded 5 or 6 videos this morning that would have gone out. Well, I guess one of them was just for our mastermind group. Hopefully you guys got to take advantage of that trade on Delta Airlines because it is rocking, baby. It is doing awesome. All right. Let's see. If you missed the live event in New York live that Brandon taught on Thursday afternoon and morning a few weeks ago, take advantage of the lifetime access to his trainings, guys. It is, he did a great job. Sean sat in the back. Sean, many of you know who he is. He sat in the back going, wow, I need that in my system. And I heard others in the room doing the same thing, just yes, and all the heads nodding as he was teaching it. We had a special guest there with us who's been trading the markets for 40 some odd years, sat in the event and went, this is awesome. Oh my God, this is great. This guy is unbelievable, right? Take advantage of that. 50% off is the early bird special. Lee just dropped that link in. Lee, can you put the code in there as well? Online Life. Make sure you use the caps. Online, the O, Life, L, one word, Online Life. Those letters are, the O and the L are capitalized. Oh, don't want to share that just yet with you. Let's go take a look at what the market's looking like right now. Actually, no, let's not do that. Let's go take a look at what trades you guys have done. Drop those trades in, right? I'm going to tell you right now, our activity, or no, that's the wrong word. What I'm going to be giving you guys from here going forward, especially come the new year, what I'm going to do is going to be very heavily predicated on your participation. So if you traded today, let me know. If you didn't trade today, that's okay. Tell me that. But drop those trades in there, folks. You cannot imagine the thank yous that we get that others of you are putting in trades, because it's not just the 1 or 2 trades that maybe I did and the 1 or 2 trades that Amelia did. Now, if there are 10 of you dropping trades in there and I'm reading them all out, it's helping everybody inside of here get a better understanding of what to be looking at. Right? So drop those in and share. All right. So let's start off first. Let's go and take a look at what's happening out there. So I did a setup this morning. All right, let's see. We've got a couple of no trades today. Sandy said a gap on trade on SPY. Excellent, Sandy. Good. John said naked put play, Wheel of Fortune, AMC, Beyond, BYND, cash flow 1K. There you go, John. I love it. Guys, if you just did what John does, that's 50 grand a year. Take 2 weeks off vacation, right? You deserve it, don't you? Right? Okay. Let's see. Les said Gush put made $1,650 practice account. There you go. Hey, Les, guys, maybe I need to be very clear about that. Funded, not funded, made money, broke even, it costs you something, it doesn't matter. Drop those trades in. It's an accountability factor. It is a learning factor. Help yourselves become better. Help everybody else here become better as well. PK said SPY $500, Apple $510, which I entered by mistake. Didn't do the market morning spreads. All right, good. Roman said no downside. NQ, not N, no. NQ downside. NQ is the NASDAQ. right? Futures, Amazon, Bear, Rob's Rules, Amelia's Exit, 20% ROI. Great job, Roman. Great job. I don't have a hammer here. I need to get another button here like we've got at the office. But I think that Sean's got some crazy stuff done to hook that up. I think there's like 19 pieces of equipment to make that work. Excellent, excellent, excellent job, folks. So if we look at the Qs today, all right, we came right out of the gate. We gapped down on the open today. We got a nice gap on QQQ. Right, you can see right here is our first candle. Okay. There's that 9:35. I mean, that's the closing time of the candle. And we had a quick run up. We closed right at resistance and then we pushed off. There's an entry right into a put to the downside. We took a little bit of heat for the next two candles before we rolled over. I wanted to get out of half of the trade at the midpoint. I did not. It gapped through and I did not get my order in time. And that same candle, it took me out of the entire trade. So it was about a $2 move on the Qs. We're up about $1.25 on the puts. Nothing crazy, but one contract, $125, 10 contracts, $1,250. 10 contracts, you probably could take the rest of the day off. I'm just saying. Now, I know some of you might make more than $1,000 an hour. Attorney might make $300, $400, $500, $800 an hour, right? I know mine gets a hefty fee, about $700 an hour. But guys, if you can make an extra $1,250 for the day, it's probably not the worst thing that you could have happen to you for the day. All right, so that was number one. Number two, I mentioned this morning and I said it earlier in the video to the mastermind group, I mentioned Delta Airlines, DAL. Right, I put a quick video out on it this morning as well. Pilots going in and getting their contract set up. It's got to be ratified, but they don't believe it will not be. So I don't think any transportation things like that are not going to be after the government stepped in with the rail companies and said, yeah, sorry, your contract's valid. You can't ask for more now. You agreed, and then you added the 6 days later. Sorry, no. I think after that, companies are realizing, major shutdowns that are going to hurt the economy, especially in this market, regardless of how much Biden is in agreement with labor. And I'm not saying he should or should not be, but that's definitely the side he falls on, not the side it fell on with this. And listen, that shutdown would have cost billions of dollars and a ton of jobs to people. Not to mention, hazardous waste has to stop shipping 5 days before. Prescription drugs can't make it across the country. You see where I'm going with this? Diapers, baby formula. There's a lot of issues to contend with there. So based on that, they've got this new contract out. They're going to get a 31% increase, I think it was. They're guaranteed to stay above major airlines like United and American. I don't remember if it was $1 or 1% an hour. I don't know what it was, but they're guaranteed an above rate than the next highest paid major competitor, not a little schleppy company, a major competitor, right? If I don't know, a major actor, if Beyonce, singer, whoever, hires a pilot and pays them $10 million a year, they're not going to do that for Delta, right? That's major airlines they're doing it for. So based on that, I talked about looking at a naked put, and on the $35 put, today it was 26 cents on the $35 put. Well, let me see. Let me get Delta Airlines here. Let's try that again. All right, there we go. So it was the $35 put. Okay, $35 put was 26 cents. It's now down at 16. There you go. We've got 4 days left. We've already lost almost half the value of that put option as the stock went up. So I like these types of companies for naked puts. I like them for covered calls. Guys, if you bought it right now at 36.19 and you wanted to write a covered call on it, you'd write to 37, which is a 29 delta. We look for about 40, but we don't have it. 42, I tend to stay 40 or less, right? So there's 25 cents right now on Delta Airlines. It's not horrible, okay? Basically, that's $1 a month, right? I'll take it. I'll take it. $12 a year. Actually, it's $13 a year if you do it every week, but I will take it. All right, so making sure I didn't miss anything on trade setups there. Good. All right, so that was my setups today. Many of you know Amelia does a ton of trades day in and day out that she does in her Trade Watch alerts. So let's go take a look at some of the stuff she put out there today. So we're looking on the Q. She did 3 contracts of a bull put spread, credit spread. She got into the trade at 10:31. She got a credit of 43 cents. And by the time it was all said and done, she got out at 10:42. So what is that? 11 minutes later? 12 minutes? Yeah, 11 minutes later, give or take. And she gave 21 cents back, which means 21, 31, what was that? 22 cents. She kept 22 cents in that trade. 38% rate of return in 11 minutes, right? Now, 38% in 11 minutes, guys. I don't know about you, but you should be pounding desk and like, oh my goodness, that is awesome. Woo! Right? Make some noise. Come on, right? Great job. Great trade setup, guys, right? Yeah, but Rob, it's only 22 cents. Don't look at it that way. Don't look at it that way. She took on 57 cents of credit. Of risk, as she got the 43 cents of credit. She took on 57 cents worth of risk, which means she had 43 cents. No, she had 57 cents of risk in that trade. And she wound up getting, so out of 57 cents, she made 22. So 22 over 57, I don't know, 40%? What is it? 38%. There you go. She already had it on there. I'm doing math and she already wrote it down for us. 38%. Don't look at the dollar amount. Do more contracts. Look at the rate of return. Right? Great rate of return. Good job, Amelia. Good job. The next one is on applied material, AMAT. So she did a vertical spread on AMAT right out of the gate today. One of her three main ones came out today. 9:31 this morning. She did a vertical spread, 3 contracts. She took in a credit of 32 cents. Right? And that was on the 104, 105. So her maximum risk in this trade, the maximum risk is the dollar. That's the trade's max risk. The difference between the two strikes minus your credit makes your risk. So dollar minus 32 is 68 cents. 68 cents. That's her maximum risk in the trade. She wound up giving 10 cents back to end her obligation in this transaction, which means she keeps another 22 cents on this trade and winds up with 32% rate of return in 30 minutes. Guys, great. I mean, if you're putting down these types of trades day in and day out, they are fantastic, right? It's a matter of identifying what's going on in the market, finding the right trade setup for that market and or that movement of that position, and executing based on a series of rules that you've tested over and over and over and over and over again. That is the only way you're going to get successful at this. Hitting the enter button again and again and again. Okay. Now, excuse me. Let's go take a look at the S&P 500 and let's see what SPX looks like. $ SPX. SPX. All right. Woo! All right. Look at that, baby. Sorry, very, very excited mood that I am not working on taxes right this moment. So that's big to me. Right now, I'm getting a ton of stuff prepared for my accountant for all of our businesses. And it's just mind-shattering for me. I hate this kind of drudgery work, if you would call it, if you would give it, okay? So we had pushed up, and I made comments in Power Option Plays everywhere I have been on Ben Zenga's show when they brought me in last week of where we're closing above this downtrend line that we have not seen that in a while, right? Actually, it hasn't happened yet that we've closed above. We broke above, but not a close above, right? And that was last week, Wednesday, right? When we did that. And then the next day, now that was a huge move. The next day, no harm, no foul. I was on Ben Zenga's show that day saying, listen, guys, we expect to pull back. The question is, can we maintain, can we hold above the downtrend line and or the 8 moving average confluence of our fib? And what happened today? We gapped down just at right there, the downtrend line. We broke the negative 272, which is a hesitation point. That's where it gapped to on Friday on the open. It's a hesitation point, and we had the confluence of the 8. So today we pierced through it now, and we're down below that level. We've got room down to about 39.64-ish, which is the 21 moving average, okay? So there is opportunity in there for the downside at this point. You've got to watch. It's noon. You got to watch if we're going to get this pop back above resistance, the negative 272. But I would be very cautious here. Now, I'm going to sound like a broken record. Are we done going down? Guys, I think we are in a short-term bullish move in an overall bearish market. I will talk Fed in just a moment. I don't want to get too much into that just yet. But what happens with the Fed over the next 2 weeks is going to make a huge component as to what happens. That's going to be a big part of it. We'll talk about economic reports in a little bit when we get into the Fed, and we'll kind of get into that. There was a lot of hope from many of you. I've gotten messages back of that 4181 level is a time where we're going to break through. And there were some questions that came out of, how do I trade it? Wait for the breakout, get in early. Do I need a retest? Should it retest the fib line or the 4181? The fib line meaning the negative 618. Okay, the red line that's underneath here. Okay, under the black one. And all of my comments started off with, let's see if it actually gets above it first. And if it does, this is the way we would trade it. I'm just not convinced we're there yet. Now, could I be dead wrong? Yes. Would I be okay if I'm wrong? Yes. If the market goes back up, I don't think we're going to see the market truly run, if we can't get a couple of things done, such as cutting costs, bring inflation down, and so forth. Unemployment rate is still higher and went up this last week. Not what the Fed was looking for, but some of the comments of the Fed have made the market jump the way that you saw there on Wednesday from their meeting, right? Yeah, PK, I'm normally on Benzinga on a Thursday noon-ish, right? Normally noon-ish. You know, Karen, I did not see PMI. I did not see what it did today. Roman, we changed the SPX over the weekend in POP. It got pointed out last week. We talked about it, and I said I'm not going to change it until we get into POP, and I'm going to change it, physically change it in there, right? And I talked about, yes, we got a new pivot, new Fibonacci in there, and if we break out of the 618, we're already violating the new one, and we've got to start looking back 2 Fibonacci's ago to this previous one here for this this previous move, right? So we have nothing really here to draw off of except this stair step. Right, so overall S&P 500 monthly daily option looks okay, right? Weekly option, we closed above last week. Today we're above that downtrend line. First time it's happened, and this week we're only Monday. It's only part of the day, just a couple hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. That's it. We just got back underneath that level. There's a lot happening in there. There's a whole lot happening inside of there. Okay. Let me get, I know what this is. I always have to remember on a daily chart, when I draw on SPX, I need to make sure that it only draws on this chart. It does not show in all SPX charts. All right, so let's go back to the weekly. There we go. Okay. So, and we're back down yet again today. All right, my diagonal trend lines have not changed. Nothing is any different in there. Right, at all. Okay. Let's see, monthly, and I'm going to go back to the daily for one more thing. All right, the monthly chart, we've got what, 8 or 10 months, 10 months to the downside. We got a little bit of a catch above there. That's the highest we had closed into it. We're just down below that downward, that upward resistance downtrend line. In there, but yes, the breakout is nice, but we're not there yet on either the daily, the monthly or the weekly. We're not there yet saying, we're going to go from here. And to add, that's not insult to injury. That's not the right words for it. To do it this way, if we add to this, what traders have been looking at recently is a 200 moving average. I've heard so much about this. Why did this not come up? I think I checked it was the right one, but didn't actually put a check mark next to it. I did not. Okay. So it's very light. It's very faint. It's done on purpose. Okay. Because I don't really want it to jump out. And I don't leave it on there because it scrunches the chart down because it's such a big moving average, so high up. So we got the break above there on last week on Wednesday. Right, we stayed above Thursday. Friday, we gapped down and we came back up. And traders like, yeah, that's it. I'm telling you, it's crazy times, baby. Sticking behind a computer keyboard with taxes. Goodness gracious, I'm waiting to break out. So, like a stock hitting resistance, I'm just waiting for the breakout, baby. So we pushed up, and then today we're back down again. Now, it's only a day. It does not, nothing's happened yet. We could recover by the end of the day, and that's possible the end of the week, whatever it is. But guys, I don't necessarily trust the 200 moving average to be the definitive of we broke above the 200. Traders are looking for a reason to take the breakout to the upside. Inexperienced investors / traders are desperately looking for something, and they're willing to grasp onto anything and say, this is a bullish market, I'm in, right? And you go where you go, right? You do you, right? If that's who you are as a trader and it works for you, that's awesome. You take advantage of it. For me, I'm looking for as much clarity as I can get my hands on. When I look back now and say, okay, let's not look at the 200-day moving average. Let's look at a very weird one, right? Which is a 233-day moving average. Yeah? Yes, it's on the Fibonacci number series, right? Go through the number series. It's 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 34, 55, 89, 144, and then 233, okay? 233 is the next one, all right? Which is what we have up here, this blue dotted line. So yes, we've broken above the 200, and you could look at it as, you know, the front door just opened and you hear the alarm beep and you don't know if it's criminal or not yet. Maybe one of your kids just came home. You hear it going off. You're definitely paying attention now. And if they can't shut that sucker off, you're reaching for the gun, right? Or the bat or the dog or whatever it is. This is kind of an early warning signal. It's all I look at the 200 as. Yes, we're getting close to the 233, but that is human emotion. The 200 is not. The 200 is an arbitrary number that someone said, 200 sounds good. Why? Is it a half a year? No. Is it no, it's not anything. It's an 10, 20. They're arbitrary numbers. Yes, a lot of people focus on them, but there's also a lot of false action around them where, all right, we got above the 200, so I'm in, or we're close to the 200, I'm jumping in, right? Or I'm selling all my positions. And there's a lot of actions that are not clarity based. Whereas if you're following a 233, you're a Fibonacci trader. And if you're a Fibonacci trader, you're looking for actionable. You're looking for things that human emotion base off of, not I'm going to get out before this or after that, or you're focused on what those moving averages and or anything Fibs based tells you. And we're not seeing that over the 200 right now. So a lot of depth in there. And if you got to take advantage of it this morning, hey, package police. That's my dog's barking as the mail carrier showed up. So if you got to take advantage of the video I did over the weekend, and if you've not, guys, if you've not seen it, right? If you go to wealthbuildershq.com and just put a / newsletter, and we're getting ready to make it real easy for you real soon. Right? There it is. Right? This week's market outlook, Traders Market Intelligence Report. This is our update for Sunday. I do it on a Friday. It's normally done. Don't tell anybody. But guys, this video, 8, 9 minutes long, whatever it is, 5 minutes long, whatever this week brings, right? We're looking at economic reports, what's going on. And there's a lot of other great stuff in here. You know, what's our schedule this week, right? What's happening there, what earnings are key, economic reports that are key. All of that is on here, okay? Every bit of that right here for you, all right? So it's a great report to go to get a good understanding and a good quick start of the market, especially since we do this video after the market closes on Friday. And Sean normally gets it published on Friday before he goes home. Now, there'll be Christmas time, you know, the holiday season. We might not have one up there because we're on vacation one week and so forth. But guys, this video, to me, rocks. Absolutely rocks, right? This sets you up for the week, and you already knew this going into the open of the market today, which is when we gap down up right to the downtrend line, no less, failed, broke the fib line, the 272, broke the 8 moving average confluence, right? And have played handsomely on that 40-25 level. All right, let's see. Jim said, afternoon, Rob, just getting in class. You're explaining the SPX timeframes. You did this in your Traders Market Intelligence report. You just went to the report I was referring to. Yeah, there you go, Jim. Good report, guys. And what we're doing now Sean's putting the final touches on it. I think today is when he thinks he's going to have it ready. We're going to have a page that you can register to get an email from us. So once that report is posted, you'll get an email that says, all right, the report's up. If you want to go check it out, you can go do that, right? You'll be able to take advantage of it, okay? So we're working on that. We're working on the one for the market mornings. Actually, market mornings is going to be up, I think, done today. We're working on the one for the intelligence report as well, so we can put an email out to that so you guys will know to look for it, all right? Let's see. Amos said, hey, Amos, afternoon, or yeah, afternoon, I think so by you, yes. Look at all the black candles on the meandering move up towards the top trend line. Doesn't look like a smooth bullish move at all. So I'm assuming we're still talking SPX, Amos, right? And you're right. This would not be what I would call a clean thrusting pattern. It's a very sloppy thrusting pattern. You get this, meandering, I think was the word you used in there, right? It's definitely one that I use. This meandering, it's almost like riding along in my automobile, or what was the Bugs Bunny cartoon? I'll think of it. It's like a vulture. Oh, I got it. I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee, right? It's kind of like, yeah, no cares in the world. We're just, woo, nice ride. Yeah. Ooh. Or for someone, maybe a really good high, I don't know, really good edible or something. So you're right, Amos, we don't have anything here that's clear, that's a directional path, but from, and again, not in defense of it, because I think it's a short-term bullish market, short-term bullish move in a bearish market. This overall move has been sloppy across the board, up and down, although the down has been a little bit cleaner than the ups. But I agree with you, Amos, 1,000,000%. Right? You're spot on with that. Okay? Nothing great about this at all. Right? Now I'm going to remove the 233 and the 200 just because, see how the chart jumped up? Right? That higher moving average pulls it all down because the chart needs to force that moving average on there since you're looking at it. Jim said the SPX daily candles are closing below moving averages instead of closing at them and bouncing up. I think that's what Amos is talking about. Yeah. Well, he's talking about moving up towards the top trend line, right? So we just don't have, and you're again right on with it, Jim. We just don't have a lot of clarity of going up. Does that mean we're going to be going down today? Starting today, we're going down? No, it doesn't mean that. We may get a rock and a run for the next little bit. We're looking at Santa Claus rally. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks, right? Where we run into the holiday season and what's expected from it and yada, 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 yada. Okay. And all of that is great and fine and good as an investor, because that's all Santa Claus rally really is. All right. It is not on Tuesday before the Christmas holiday happens, this stock market goes up 80, the S&P goes up 82 points. It doesn't work like that. Right. It's kind of happens. Right. We kind of move, kind of does its thing. Okay. So looking at this, guys, gals, folks, right? Looking at this, we don't have clarity just yet. Trade the market at hand. That's why my time frame is still compressed, right? Let me ask you this. Give me a 1 for yes and a 2 for no. And we're going to have a discussion on what, depending on what the answers come in on. On this day right here, how many of you placed trades? Funded, non-funded, break even, made money, lost? I don't care. How many of you hit an enter button on that day to place a trade? 1 for yes, 2 for no. And I'm getting in position number 1 in the chair. And I'm just going to hang out. Well, I'll move up to get a drink of water, but come on, there are a hell of a lot more of you in here than that. Okay. All right. So you know what? Let me do this. Yeah, this would be the best way to show it. I think we should be okay here. Let's see. Ba-bam. All right. So I haven't done all the math yet. I did not add everything up. as of yet. All right. But if we take what I do. All right. That right there is trades done on the 30th, right? Off of that move. That was trades done off of that move on that particular day. I shared with them in Power Option Plays over the weekend, every single one of them, the details behind them, the breakout, the retest, the bounce, where the entry was, why certain ones didn't work, and so forth. You know, the expression, it's here in New York, I'm guessing it's everywhere, that you hear about lotto is you've got to be in it to win it, right? Powerball, whatever it is. You can't win if you don't play. If you don't put the dollar down, you can't win, right? And it definitely is a lotto or a state-sponsored answer, right? If, you know, pay us, please, because the state makes more money than they pay out. And, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent, okay? But you went to trading the market, you trade every day for days like this to come. That's the goal. You know, some of you say, well, Rob, I wouldn't have all that money to do all those trades. Not a problem. What if you only did one contract instead of 10? Most of them were 10, only one was 4, which was booking. What if you only did one contract? What if you did one contract of booking cost you 5 or 6 grand and you made 4 or 5 grand from it? Right? What if you only did one contract, and some we did more, like Square, we did 20 contracts, right? What if you only did 10 contracts? By the way, 20 contracts on Square, we were looking at per contract was probably about $3, $2.50. So let's say it was $3 and you did 10 contracts, that's 3 grand, right? This was 20 contracts, make 1,560. What if you did 10 contracts, put 3 grand down, and you made $750? 7, 14, 20, 28, 20% for the day. All right. And then you've got companies. Now, this is one of the lower ones, right? What if you got something more midway? What if you got Tesla or Square, right? Square, we did 20 contracts. We made $5,500, $5,400. What if you did 10 contracts and you made, I don't know what that is, 2,500, half of it ish, right? What if you did one contract and you made 250 on a 60 some odd dollar stock, $64 stock with an option that was $3 or $4, right? $2.50, whatever it was, right? Guys, very low cost, very kicking ass, right? These are the days that you wait for, look for, right? And funny thing is, we were in Inner Circle last meeting we had, which was about last week it was. And one of our students, Daniel, who owns a farm, and I don't mean like people call me Farmer Rob because I've got, you know, a couple hundred plants I grow in my yard of vegetables, right? I'm not talking that. I'm talking about, you know, hundreds of acres or lots of acres of corn, right? And the likes that he grows. He came in, saw the movement, and he knew it was time to jump in. Just, I'm in the market. That kind of move, that kind of talk going on from Powell, man, it's time to ride the wave, and jumped in on the market right then and there, right? Let's see. Jim said Square on 11/29. Did you mean 11/30? Yeah, it says 11/30. Maybe I said 29 by mistake. But it is 11/30. So if you're not trading this, even non-funded, right? You should have been out there saying, all right, I've never traded against the Fed announcement like this, and not announcement, but a discussion, right? A press conference. I've never traded against this right now. I'm going to go and look at all these companies, and I'm going to put all these non-funded trades in, and let's see how it works. How else are you going to know what to look for? You're not. You got to be in it to win it, right? You got to start hitting enter. You got to start hitting enter, right? You got to start hitting enter. Period. The end. The only way you're going to get good at this is by hitting enter. Okay, I see what you're saying there. So maybe I added too many of them up because we had some on the 29th in there. Maybe. I think you're right, Jim. That was the first one was on the 29th. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yep. So I said, I haven't done it yet, guys. Normally, I break it out by every week. I put the monthly totals in. I color code the weekly totals, right? So I know where we're at. and I can see what we've done. All right. Just haven't gotten to it yet since that just was this weekend. And for those of you that, and I guess some of you maybe didn't want to watch the video this weekend when you saw that, and that's not true. I know you all want to watch it, but we went a little bit longer this weekend because I really dug in, went in depth, super in depth. You guys ready? This color coding system is like, oh my God, right? That right there is like home run. I mean, visually, and I figured out on my own how to color code those cells, which normally I would have asked Sean to do it, or Rick, or Trader Will, or Trip, or someone that knows Excel. I don't, right? I know @ sum equals, that's it. And I know you don't need the @ anymore, but, right? But this is killer. And I went over explaining why I did this, what my thought process was, asked everybody on team to think about it. How do we use this better? But guys, when you see United Healthcare is bullish and it's a 1, right? True bull, or it was true bull, but when it's bullish bias with a 1, awesome. When you see that this is a bearish bias on Amazon and a 1, awesome. Adobe, it's a 3. I don't care. At least not right now. I don't. I'm looking at 1s first, 2 seconds, 3s later, right? And it's all based on the ranking system that we've got there. All right. So we've got nothing in open trades right now at all, just our closed, but our closed trades are 1,354,000 for the year. We're all learning. That's it, Jennifer. That's the goal. PK said, boy, you sure did go in depth. Yeah, an hour and a half long, an hour and 37 minutes, I think was what the video was. We're normally 30 to 40 minutes on a weekend, right? But there was a lot of stuff to do. We changed a lot of fibs. We talked about the whys and where they could become problematic later. And so forth, okay? All right, I'm going to talk about our topic today, but in the meantime, drop your candidates in that you want me to take a look at while we talk about, let me go bring that puppy back up, Fed, fact or fantasy, right? And when I say that, I don't mean that they're doing something wrong or it's fictitious or anything like that. Not where I'm going with this, right? Today we had the PMI report come out, right? Purchasing Managers Index. That was the only thing that we had big answer for today, red or yellow, or orange. We got unemployment claims coming out on the 8th. Yeah, it's important, but I just don't see it really changing much. Core PPI month over month, blah, blah, blah. That's 8:30 on Friday, with consumer sentiment also on Friday. That's at 10 o'clock. So another one that could slap you during the market open. After that, right? So PPI is big, producer price index. What does it cost to make something, right? Very much in line with PMI, what it costs to buy something, all right? Raw materials. CPI, consumer price index, that comes out on Tuesday, right? And 3 of them, month over month, year over year, and the core, where they take some products out of it. And then Wednesday, FOMC starting at 2 p.m., light volume, plan on it. We've got the statement, that's the projections, the statement, the Fed funds rate, all at 2 o'clock. At 2:30, they do a press conference, right? What gets said at that press conference is going to be huge. Right now, we are at just under 75% that we are looking at a 1/2 point rate hike, this upcoming hike. A 25% chance that we're looking at a 50 basis point hike. Okay, we're not done yet, right? What I mean by that is there's a lot of reports coming out before then. There's a lot of monkey wrenches can get thrown into this billywig here, into this thing to really just derail it from where it is right now. All right. Excuse me. So keep your eye on these reports. Watch the ones that come out at 10 o'clock. If you're trying to trade at 9:30 in the morning, 9:40, 9:50, that 10 o'clock report can kind of mess you up. So I'm not saying don't trade around it. I'm saying know it's there and use that to decide, am I going to trade or not trade because of this, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't. All right. Amos said, how did you get the colors on Omega charts on the VIX? So Amos, it is all manual right now, a little bit of a pain in the neck. Glenn is looking at it for us. Glenn came to the live event we did in New York for the Inner Circle Mastermind. So basically, Amos, it's the rectangle tool, right? And what I would do is I'd go to a template with no, don't get any stuff on there. Go to like an Alcoa or something that you're not trading, right? Would be the, well, actually, if you're gonna do it on the VIX, but to practice this, I mean, right? Then go and get a very big picture, F9 or so, and then you grab the rectangle tool, and whatever your ranges are, you see on the right side of the chart, you can see that little yellow bubble next to my toolbar that says 94.34. So let's say I wanted to start this. I'm just going to make it up at 30. Okay. Right here at $30. Right. I'm going to put my mouse right about 30. Close enough. And I'm going to drag it out to the right. As I dragged it off the screen. What I should have said is you also want to just give yourself some room in the future. Okay. And really what even better than that is, but that, I mean, that's essence what we did, Amos, right? So if we go to a very big zoom and do weekly, right? And now we kind of scroll out of the way, right? And get a lot of room up here. I'm talking about till 2033, right? So now when I draw my rectangle in here, wherever you're drawing it, I draw that rectangle in there and it's easier to see. What I did do is I made a modification to it and I rounded the corners just so I had some other room to grab in here, right? Just to kind of separate it on the far end of it. And then you went ahead and you do the next one right below it, right? Change the color, of course, and you just go do the next one right below it, down to wherever your next level is. All right, and that's the way that we did it. Daily D. All right, 5, 2, no. Okay, beautiful. All right, I hope that helps, Amos. Let me know, folks. If you want me to look at any candidates, drop them in. That's what this is all about. This segment here. So QQQ is what Brenda dropped in. Right. Did I say quarter point, Jim? If I didn't mean it, I mean, I've got written down half. So there's nothing for quarter point. It's about 75% to a half point and 25% chance of a 3/4 point hike. Right. Nothing for quarter. Good, Amos. I'm glad it helped. All right. So QQQ. Let's get rid of this orange bar because I don't need it. All right, so right now on the Qs, we're just down below our 8 moving average, guys. So what happened? We kind of took our chipping hammer and we broke away at the ice. We're right there. If we close here, we've opened the door up to, if you want to break down further tomorrow, right there, you go for it, okay? And there's a lot of room to drop because the 21 has a confluence at that next fib line. But if we bounce, Brenda, look at that 292, 293 area as your next resistance level. To the downside, it takes you all the way down to this 236 fib line, which is hesitation. All right. Okay, good. I wasn't sure. Jim said, nope, I don't think he said anything about a quarter point. I was just stating what was on the website. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I wrote down 75.5, 25.75. I didn't write down the exacts. I did see them, right? 74 and change. I did see it, but 75 is close enough for our purposes. But thank you for that. Very much appreciated. Sandy's asking for AMD. All right, AMD. One of the trip trio. So we're sitting right now, Sandy, in a bullish neutral bias. We're below the 8, above the 21. Great confluence at 71.60. So you have some room to the downside. Ideally, I'd like to see the break above that 76 with room up to about 80.5 as resistance. Okay. Trips now got a duo, not a trio, because AMD is already out there. So that's good. But caution on this one, right? Sandy, the same tool that I just used, the exact same rectangle tool that I just used. We're going to have to adjust that bottom there though. What did I just draw? What is that? What is that called? What do I call it? How about that? I don't remember who it was, but someone had, where'd it go? Oh, I think I could do, yeah, I can. Let me see, there's text here, right? So someone had done this where they typed it in and they did this, D-bond, right? Which I thought was pretty cool, right? So of course I took it. But D-bond is dreaded box of neutrality, right? Compression box of neutrality, pressure cooker, box of neutrality, lots of BONs in there. Good. It's exactly what it is, folks. All right. That's what we're looking at, Sandy, on AMD. I need a breakout of the rectangle on either side for me to be convinced to take a directional trade one way or the other. And the break to the downside puts it in bearish bias with nothing stopping it to each level. And we've broken out before. We had two of them back here. It almost looks like a Darvas box back here. All right, so I hope that helps. Let me know. Cindy on AMD. Tripp's asking for IBM. Same thing. We're in that kind of sideways mode, which we've been now for about 2.5 weeks. Pull that back a little bit. All right. I like when the numbers are cut off. So if we can get the bounce off here, Trip, we're good up to 49 and 149.5. But if we break that 147, we're looking at 144 as our downside. Actually, let me put this in place. All right, and then we have, whoops, Micron. So I back up the text chat a little bit. Okay. So we're in a bearish bias, not true bear, but good enough to take a directional trade. Keep in mind, earnings coming up shortly on just confirmed dates. This shows 21. I don't know if it's a confirmed number or not yet. But if you can get the bounce off 53.5, you've got room up to 56. I'm fine with that. If you fail the 53.5, retest and fall, drop, 50.5 is the next target. So you've got about $3 in either direction. So I like it a lot. There's plenty of room. I've seen that type of setup before. Trip, what do we call that? With where it's sitting right now near that line. What's the name of that thing? Switch back. There you go, guys. All right. SPY. Yeah, Kevin, I didn't do anything on SPY yet. Let's do it now. Hope that helps, Trip. All right. So we broke through the 401.89 and we're in the blue zone. Now, this is not a dreaded box of neutrality. It's a blue zone that takes place between a fib line and a 100-point level. Right. And it's when they're too close. And it's hard to just say what too close is because we have different levels based on the price of the stock. Okay. And it's something we teach in power option plays. But we're inside of that blue zone right now. But we broke the confluence of the 8 and the -272. The hesitation level was pierced. Again, this could just be an ice hammer chipping its way through. Right. Tomorrow could be the breakdown. If we get the break, I'd love to see the break coming through the 400 level, the retest and fail. With the 396-ish, whatever the 21 moving average is, that as our downside target. All right. If we move to the upside, which would be the cleaner way of trading this, you've got room up to that 406 half level. So we've got about $5.5 move to the upside potential there. All right. I hope that helps. Let me know down below. Roman's asking for Tesla. Did not do a naked put on it this week, Roman, because of the Fed. I want to see what happens, come PPI, CPI. So I'm kind of pulled back a little bit on this week on those. Still writing my covered call, so I'm going to collect premium when the market's going down. Why not take it, right? By all means. It's the best time to ever do it. If we break this 183.80 level, Roman, retest and fail 166 half. I mean, it's just great opportunity there. Okay. They've got a $21 Fibit, so 66 cents. Yes, we've got plenty of room in there. No splitting the, no Fibits required inside of there. Hope that helps. Let's see. PK saying when it breaks out of the box of neutrality, do you wait for retest or just flat out take the break out of it? So it really depends on what you look at this way, PK. The trade setup that I taught when I was doing the E-mini think tank was we had a very tight, much tighter range, not this swooping or meandering, just kind of rolling hills. That's not what we're looking at here, right? If you have something that's really tight and you're kind of pinned in there, the breakout is the way to go, right? But with something like this that we were looking at that kind of were up and down inside of a bigger range, breakout, retest, and bounce. That's me. Excuse me. Just tickle. That's me. That doesn't mean it's the only way to trade it, but it is the way that I prefer to do it. I hope that helps. Yeah, switchbacks, they're everywhere. Exactly, Trip. Can't miss them. Amos, sorry, what position? On what stock? Are you talking about Rising 3 on Tesla? Roman said, would you take it today or wait till tomorrow? So Roman, I think you're referring to Tesla. Oh, we're on Tesla now. Okay. Yeah, if it's after 230 to 230 and you get the break and the fail off it and the S&P and or the NASDAQ in this case starts to roll over, then yeah, I'd be okay with it today. But if I can't get that entry pretty early on, 230, I'm probably not going to take it. I'll wait for the tomorrow. So really not through that much yet. Okay, so let's go look at SPY. Roman's asking, could that be a rising 3? So it's rising 3-ish, right? That bullish candle really negates the true rising 3, but is it rising 3-ish? Yes. But caution, because it's not a valid setup with that bullish candle in there. Why? All right, Raj is asking for GLD. All of you that are saying thank you, you are quite welcome. I appreciate that. GLD. All right, no fibs drawn on it here. Spider Gold Trust, we're down today. Everything is down. Woo! Earl rolled over too. I guess the thought of China easing restrictions, because I saw a couple of stocks from this morning that were up big time. Morgan Stanley came out and said overweight China stocks because of the potential early opening from COVID. And we saw huge moves on some of the stocks this morning, $4 and $5 that were down, down now on the day from where they were. All right. So overall, I just want to see gold. We're down 28 points right now on gold. All right. So if we look at that bigger picture. All right. So we need a new fib. No doubt we need a new fib. $63 to $66 is $3. We don't need a fib in there. Okay. So Raj, as I look at it, we're in a true bullish bias. We were before the move today. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, get me back above the 8 and we're back into that bullish bias, but I've got resistance right above head. So it's hard for me to try to take it until I break out of that 0 line, that blue line on top, that 166 quarter level. Once I break out, retest, and then bounce, then I'm back in the saddle again. But right now I'm a little cautious just based on the pattern. And I understand. I mean, I get phone calls every week. I get dozens of emails a week of you should buy gold. Look at the great move it's made. It's amazing. Get in now before it's gone too high. And I'm like, too high. Look where we were. Look where we are. Not too high. Right? There's no way. Right. So, but I would be cautious on it until we break above that 166 quarter level. Let's see. Hope that helps, Raj. Let me know. Jim said on crude, daily looks like it might do a triple bottom in the next few days and bounce around 90 and then fail. With people traveling in 2 to 4 weeks, the supply will be lowered, raising the price. Brenda, you're welcome. So if we look at crude, I don't have it set up on daily. Not on this set of charts, I don't. Let's go take a look. Sometimes it takes TradeStation a little while to react. Let's turn this into a daily. So if you're referring to what's going on here, I see this double bottom. I wouldn't call that a triple. You did say triple, right? Let me make sure. Triple. I wouldn't call that triple heading into, because that move up hasn't been enough. It was just a small correction to pull back in there. I would look at them almost as the same bottom inside of there. But it definitely has this channel type pattern. I'd be looking at this break of the bottom period here, of these bottoms in here. Okay. But I appreciate that, Jim. Thank you for that. Debbie said, missed what I said on SPY. Let's go back and look. All right. So what I was talking about is the breakdown to the downside, Debbie. We're in that blue zone right now. We break the 100, retest, and fail. We're looking at about 396 to the downside. The safer bet would be if it breaks the upside, because we're already in that bullish move. But we trade the market in hand, right? Breaks out, retests, and bounces. Jim said, thank you on the comments on CL. You're quite welcome. Quite welcome. Debbie, I hope that helped. All right. Fantastic. Hey, let me share one thing with you guys. So tradinglikeaboss.com, guys, get yourself to this website, right? You're going to start seeing some new things pop on here. We normally just recycle through things that we have and to keep the number smaller. You're going to see some newer stuff on there. You now have a way to get back to wealthbuildershq.com. There will be another website, which is a personal site to me. You're going to have access to that as well. That'll be on this page somewhere. It'll be on Wealth Builders. All 3 pages are going to link back into each other. All right. So wherever you are, you can get back to the other one from there without having to type in a website. Right. It'll be there. You'll click on it. It'll take you right there. If you're logged in, it'll drop you right in. All right. Yeah, I appreciate you dropping that in there, Lee. Excellent. So, Lee, can you drop in that link and code again for Brandon's tool? Guys, take advantage of this before the early bird special is gone. I'm trying to get a countdown timer on it. You're going to see the countdown timers in the emails as they come out for you, but don't miss out on this. I'll leave the room open a few minutes. You can grab that link that Lee dropped in for Trading Like a Boss and for what he's going to drop in now again, which is still in your chat box, for Brandon's day of an online life in the day of an online trader. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see all of you at our next update. Remember, you are just one trade away. Take care, folks. See you soon. Bye for now.